Hello everyone, and welcome to a video ranking all of the arcs from Chainsaw Man Part 1. I figured since we're going to be getting the anime trailer this week, I might as well start getting back into doing some Chainsaw Man videos, and I thought that this would be a pretty simple and easy way to start. So, before I get into this video, I of course have to mention my subscriber goal for 2021, hitting 5,000 by the end of the year. So, if you're already a fan of the content I produce on this channel, and you're not subscribed, you might as well time to reach that goal. The other thing is my Patreon. If you want to help support me and the channel directly while also getting some extra content, you can always become a patron. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Now, let's get on to this tier list. So, for starters, nothing goes D tier. Nothing goes D tier. Anything going C tier? Oh, I don't know. I'm very reluctant to have anything be C tier. Maybe the intro arc. The intro arc doesn't necessarily do anything wrong. There's just not really a lot in it. It's only 4 chapters. It's the shortest arc in the series, so it really doesn't have as much to judge it off of as the other arcs do, and it doesn't really have anything that kind of wows me like a lot of the other arcs. So if there's anything to have at the very bottom of the barrel, I guess it would be the intro arc. Then we get on to the Bat Devil arc, which of course has quite a few more chapters, and also we get a lot more out of it. We get some more insight into Power's character. We get into Denji's conviction, his motivation to touch boobs. I believe by chapter 12, we get the legendary boob squeezing, in which Denji has a crisis and realizes that he feels completely empty in his life, and that what if the rest of the goals that he's after all feel underwhelming when he finally gets to them. That's good stuff. That's when we get into the really good character stuff in Chainsaw Man. Really get to the heart of Chainsaw Man. So the Bat Devil arc overall is pretty good, but we start getting into some of the stuff that makes me really love Chainsaw Man. Then of course we have the Eternity Devil arc, which I would say it's probably about the same quality as the Bat Devil arc. Denji and the gang get caught in an infinite hotel and are being held hostage by the Eternity Devil, who will let them go in exchange for being given the Chainsaw Man's heart. This arc is a lot of the same. We get a lot of really cool imagery, actually. As a matter of fact, my one physical manga volume copy is Chainsaw Man Volume 3, and like the last third of it is the Eternity Devil arc. So there's a lot of pretty cool imagery in it. We also get really badass shit with Denji going into the maw of this infinite devil and just slicing it up and infinitely refueling himself with its blood until eventually it's in so much agony that it can't bring itself to fight anymore. That's pretty cool. We also get Kobeni, who is, of course, a favorite. We get a lot of great moments from Power. We get some good stuff out of Aki. I will probably end up doing a character tier list at some point in the next week or two as well. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about Aki in the future. But we get into good stuff with him. Himeno. This is basically Himeno's arc to shine. She doesn't really get a lot. Well, no, actually. No. The start of the next arc. Is it the start of the next arc, or is it the end of this arc? I don't remember. Himeno gets some good stuff in this arc and in the next arc. Speaking of, I have to say, Katana Man, Bomb Girl, and International Assassins. This series of 3 arcs, in succession, is probably one of the most thrilling and entertaining joyrides I've ever felt when reading a shonen manga. These 3 parts, sort of making up the middle section of Chainsaw Man, the main body of the series, is its strongest part. It's almost perfect, I would say. Borderline flawless, these 3 arcs, and we will start off with the most flawless, the best arc in Chainsaw Man, the Katana Man arc, in my opinion. We get into the how do I describe this? People die a lot in the devil hunting business, and we get shown that for the first time in this arc with a lot of the characters that we've just met getting killed off, including Himeno. So we are thrust headfirst into how bleak this setting is. People will die all of the time without warning. Get used to it. Then we have Katana Man, who maybe isn't the most compelling villain ever, but goddamn is his design fucking cool, and we get some fantastic fights between him and Denji and Aki. That's great. Then we get Kishibe. Oh, Kishibe. With one of the most entertaining training arcs I've ever seen. Oh, you guys are immortal? Okay, I'm going to keep murdering you two until eventually you get either strong or smart enough to be able to land a hit on me. Okay? Okay. I know the official translation says he's going to turn them into the baddest of badasses, but I prefer the old fan translation. I'm going to turn you two into the craziest motherfuckers ever. So good. So good. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, that's good shit. And then the raid on, I guess it was the Yakuza base? The building with all the zombies. That was great. We get Aki's easy revenge scene, and then, of course, the climactic battle between Denji and the Katana Man. And how could I forget the movie theater chapter? One of the best chapters in all of Chainsaw Man is in this arc. So, yeah, Katana Man, easy S tier. In my opinion, the best arc in Chainsaw Man. Now, it is close, because then we have these two arcs to go off of, and I'm not sure how I would rank them, to be honest. I think Bomb Girl was like a better, easier story to follow. We get Rize, we get the budding relationship between Denji and Rize, which I really love. It's funny, I actually didn't like Rize on my initial read-through. I was like, fuck this bitch. She tried to betray Denji. She broke his heart. She betrayed his trust. And then at the very end, I was kind of like, I guess she's alright. And then upon a reread, I was like, okay, Rize is best girl. Yeah. We get that. We get a lot of the good stuff that we got in the previous arc. In addition to that, we just get some beautiful spreads. The kiss underneath the fireworks is one of the best panels in the series for me. It's so beautiful. There are some panels in Chainsaw Man where you can really just tell that Fujimoto fucking loves movies. And he does such a good job, making some panels feel truly cinematic. And that's one of them. Then you have the battle with the Bomb Girl, and that is honestly, probably the best choreographed fight in the series, to be honest. In my opinion, has fucking amazing art. It looks great. The nighttime lighting looks both awesome and spooky in certain parts. It's just great. It's fantastic. And the ending makes me feel kind of sad. Denji sitting in that coffee shop waiting for someone that's never going to come. Very sad. Now we'll get into the absolute insane hype batshit insaneness of the International Assassins arc. We have the Darkness Devil scene. I feel like that's almost enough just to warrant it being in here. Oh, it borderline is, actually. That scene is probably the best sequence in the series, to be honest. Yeah. Hoo-wee. Well, I guess I have to talk a little bit more than just that. We also get the International Assassins themselves, who are all cool or creepy to various extents. I mean, we get Quan Chi, the most testosterone-fueled Chad lesbian I have ever seen in any piece of media ever. Was it the 52 manslaughter? That was so cool. That was so fucking cool. Quan Chi, it's a very close competition between Quan Chi and Kishibe for the coolest character in the series, with Yoshida in third. They're very close. They're very close. Quan Chi is just a great addition. And then some of the other assassins are cool. Of course, we get Yoshida. We get the three quote-unquote immortal brothers. And the Santa Claus thing is interesting because it actually very closely mirrors the relationship between Denji and Makima, funnily enough, having both of them there in that image. Overall, very good arc. If there was anything I would complain about, it's just that we don't get to see the two people that have the punishment devil do anything before they get killed. Unfortunate. It is in line with the stuff that we got introduced to in the Katana Man arc, with, you know, people just getting killed left and right. But I would have liked to see them do some stuff. Oh well. The Gun Devil arc. An A-tier arc. Very good. I wish it was longer. Because we get into real batshit insane stuff in this arc. Mostly with the Gun Devil. Like, when the Gun Devil appears, and just starts murdering everyone. Like, the chapter where Makima fights the Gun Devil is insane. I remember reading it and thinking, and also saying out loud, what the fuck is going on? Which is something Chainsaw Man does very well, making you say, what the fuck is going on? Also, of course, this is the end of Aki's character in this arc, and I'd say it is beautifully done. If there was any criticism I would have of this arc, is I wish it was a little longer. I wish the fight between Denji and Aki as the Gun Fiend was a bit longer. I wish it was more like something between Denji and the Katana Man, or against Reze. I understand the tone of the fight is very different because it's Aki fighting basically his best friend. Aki is, as Makima describes, the older brother figure, so pretty much like his adopted older brother. So I get it's a very different vibe from those fights. But I wish we got a little more out of it. Oh well, overall, still fantastic, and it was a very good end to Aki's character. Now we get into the final arc of Part 1, the Control Devil arc, and this is a B-tier arc. I'll tell you why. It has really high highs. You know, Chainsaw Man appearing, the burger shop scene, Power coming back and dying again. Those were all fantastic, but I also felt there were some times where it just didn't really hit the mark. After finding out Makima's motivation, she just kind of she didn't feel as interesting as a villain anymore. She wasn't as scary, which was a big part of Makima as a villain, was that she's terrifying. That we just had no fucking idea what her deal was, what she is and isn't capable of. She was just like this eldritch thing that we don't understand, but we know is almost always listening to us. So that aspect to her was kind of lost when we got more explanation for her character. Like, her motivation was alright, but it wasn't anything amazing. Oh, right, we get Power getting killed the first time, too. That's one of the positives. That was one of the most shocking things I've ever read. Just the sheer sudden callousness of it was truly remarkable. But yeah, I felt like some of the parts in this arc just didn't really hit as hard as I would have liked them to, or as parts of the other arcs did. A lot of Denji's time as the Chainsaw Devil just really wasn't that interesting, to be totally honest. Like, the stuff with Kobeni was funny, and some of his fight against the hybrids were kind of cool, but those felt like they kind of went on a little... Well, no, actually, they were short, but the fights themselves really weren't that interesting. It was kind of cool for a bit initially to just see him flex on everyone, but it wasn't that interesting. The final fight against all of them was kind of cool, but not that great. Now, his fight against Makima, when he fights Makima 1v1, that was actually really well choreographed. The double page spread where Makima tears out his heart, that was beautiful. That's another one of the best spreads in the series. But the way he defeats Makima almost feels like a little bit of an asshole. Like, oh, it's not an attack because I love her. Are you saying that, like, people who love each other can attack each other or something? Or as long as it's not out of spite, but, like, you are doing this because you want to stop Makima to some extent, even if you ultimately want to, like, be with Makima? I don't know. I felt it was a little weak at certain points where other arcs weren't. So that's why I have it in B tier, of course. And once again, not a bad arc by any stretch of the imagination. It's in B tier. And once again, we don't have any D tier arcs here for Chainsaw Man. They're all good, at the very least. So yeah, that is my list for all the arcs in Chainsaw Man Part 1. I'm greatly looking forward to the anime trailer on Sunday, and I feel like I'm almost more excited to find out more about Part 2. Since I already know everything that's going to happen in the anime, I really just want to know where the story's going from here. And here's to hoping that we can get a bunch more arcs, even better than the ones I have in S tier. I believe Fujimoto can pull it off, so let's hope he does. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Chainsaw Man chapter reviews. I have the whole playlist full of them. And of course, I will be doing them again once the manga starts up again. I'll probably do anime episode reviews, and once we get that trailer, some more information about Part 2, you can be sure I'll do videos on those as well. If you enjoy other series such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Kengan Omega, and Record of Ragnarok, I do videos in those series as well, so if you're interested in those, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoy discussing Chainsaw Man with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce in this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have linked to that down in the description. And since it's the end of the video, it's time to give a shout out to my wonderful patrons, Archbear CJ2K, Fuse, Neo, Dejan Redden, Anthony Chavez, Honey Mustard, Zach Rowitz, K-God, Chris Redfield, Scratch23, Moonshadow935, Rat, and Ryzen 4K. Thank you all very much for supporting me on Patreon. I greatly appreciate it. And if you too want to get a shout out at the end of videos or access to reviews for solo leveling in the Boxer, you can always become a patron as well. There's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care.